I remember when we were strong. The Viridian Outriders, a bold fraternity dedicated to preserving the safety of the needful traveler. Within my lifetime, I have seen us fall so far, replaced by the steel and gold of a king I once called friend. New threats arise, though, and his cutlass and coin may not be enough to save our people. We're still here, though. Less than we were. But we're here, and we'll help where we can. That is my oath. Hello, and welcome back to Another Path. My name is Chase, and I remain your GM. Today, the Outriders set out for Portsmouth, and consider their options along the way. Thank you to our backers, Svani, Two Nerds in a Pod, and Trent for their support. If you like what you hear, consider donating to us at patreon.com/ghostlightmedia, or maybe try checking out some of the other shows on the network. And with that, sit back, relax, and enjoy your trip down Another Path.
Also, Griffin, I sent you a friend request.
Wait, this is a podcast?
Please don't be a Chase about it.
Hey, I have just accepted all the friend requests that are in my inbox.
Yeah, Chase took about a calendar month to accept my friend request. Since the last time we recorded, probably.
Wait.
Chase likes Pokemon from the Kanto region.
I do.
Did Justin just update what it means to pull a Chase?
Because that has some cursed connotation to it normally.
No, the original one's better still.
But now we have two meanings.
Mm-hmm.
But only if this makes it into an episode. Otherwise, it's lost to time.
That's fair.
I mean, look, here's the thing. I don't know when the next chance I'm going to get to pull a Greenlee is, or to drop a Chase, however you want to put it. I don't know when the next time I'm going to have an opportunity to do that, because everybody's up to my bullshit already.
Yeah.
And it's not like I have a lot of games to bomb in on.
Well, I'll have to somehow get you into my neck of the woods, Chase, to bomb in on a game, because that's a table full of fresh-faced little D&D players that have no idea the fear that the first secret trader will set in you for the rest of your life.
I will, especially if I know I'm going to be icing one of them by the end of the game. if you say, "Hey, Chase, that one."
Yeah.
I'll find my time.
I place a real-life hunter's mark on this real-life person that I know.
And I will show him what it means to be a CEO in this country.
Topical, and I love it. I saw somebody make a fake Burger King tweet that was just a picture of a Whopper that says, "We don't snitch."
And I was going to say, I don't want to get too into this discourse, but I do want to say, I saw a TikTok of someone like, if there's anyone out there who's a defense attorney whose name is Mario, you have the opportunity of a lifetime in front of you.
Look, the only thing I have to say on it is don't live your life in a manner that if someone kills you in cold blood in the street, that there is even an opportunity for people to have a conversation like this.
Yeah. There was some finding out.
Mm-hmm.
Man, oh man, oh man.
I have a hard pivot.
I love it.
Please.
Back. So, speaking of bombing in on unaware D&D players.
Yes.
We went to a Catacon.
I thought we've recorded since then, but no, I guess you're right.
We haven't. It's been a minute.
Dang.
It's been
a minute. We did.
I just love the silence after that when Chase was trying to put numbers together.
Look,
Put the
it's
timeline
late, and
together.
I'm most of the way through a Dad, which is the Rheingeist Christmas beer.
Chase was like, "How long ago did my friends request me on Pokemon TCG Pocket?"
About at a Catacon ago.
And I didn't say anything because I wasn't there.
Either
Hey,
way,
we went to a Catacon.
Either way, we went to a Catacon. It was pretty good.
Was it at the same place?
It was.
It was, and it was in a different room.
But did you go and have one of those really good meatball subs is the real question.
No.
Oh, missed opportunity.
It was not in the cards, no. We were actually pretty busy most of that weekend. Between all the games that we were running and the mega game, and then I ran Robbie Graves 2 more times.
Nice.
Did a mushroom play?
Not this time, but an I Steer Chris did, so it's kind of the same thing.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, that's acceptable.
Did I run I Steer Chris through Robbie Graves? And do you know who played with I Steer Chris in that game?
Who?
Friend of the show, Zach Robb.
Hey.
It was fantastic. Zach remembered a little bit.
You know, while it was fun, like while I wish that the game that I played Robbie Graves had some more people, so it was like a more full experience, it was fun just going through that adventure with Rin.
Right.
Just sticking around.
They've played a couple of times now.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Yeah.
I'm eager to. Chase, we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, but I've been reading through the Blades in the Dark TTRPG book, and I think that'd be super fun if I can get the time off to hit a Catacon up next year to do a couple pop-up games of Blades, even though it's not really like in our like Ghostlight IP yet. It's still a cool-ass game, and I think everyone would benefit from playing more games out there in the world.
100%.
But new tattoo.
New tattoo. Well, new temporary tattoo. I went to a wedding, and one of their things that you could do is they had a temporary tattoo station.
Fun.
Which was pretty great. So I did have a new tat for a little bit.
I see a Pokeball with a D20 coming out.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Get that inked.
It was pretty good, and I'm not going to lie, I'm thinking about it.
Nice.
Do it.
Do it.
We still need AP tattoos.
I'm going to get Mordecai's whole face on my back.
Nice.
Oh, see, I was just going to get the word basement.
Okay. It's the Jared Leto Joker damaged font on the forehead, but it just says basement. One word,
just
no
says basement.
context.
I was
Honestly.
but consider tramp stamp.
Okay, lower back tattoo of more like Bor Ragnarok.
Justin, how dare you?
Because we were going to get tattoos, the four of us with Zach, to commemorate that ending, when we were going to get the Aegis symbol. And then
But
those fucking dweebs.
Bunch of Nazis co-opting Norse symbology.
I hate when Nazis take things like that.
can a man just have some Futhark in peace?
Apparently not. Futhark around and find out.
And
Now that's
Like the Nazis had to go and take the Punisher. And that's a shame because they don't stand for what the Punisher stands for.
they really
It's a
don't.
good logo, too.
but talk about like completely skipping every English class and just deciding that no, skull means cool, therefore me skull.
I skull, therefore I am.
Jesus Christ.
I was in New York City for a couple of days, and you got to go in the gift shops because you never know what weird things there's going to be.
For sure.
For sure. So can you buy a MAGA hat in Times Square?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Was it right next to the Yankee hat, the Met hat, and the Giants hat? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's all
yeah.
the sports teams and the MAGA hat.
It's all the hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the hats. What if you could buy, you know how you can buy fake money, though?
Yeah.
Then they got like the fake money, and it's like, hey, it's the Statue of Liberty. Hey, it's this. Hey, it's this. You can get the Donald Trump fake money,
Sure.
which feels right.
All of his money is fake.
Yeah. You can also get a baseball with his face on it.
I don't know how I feel
The
about that.
hair was not great.
My favorite fake money is the blurred money. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
No.
You can get a stack. It looks like it is money that is like blurred out so you can't see the denominations,
Oh.
but it is like exists in the real world as like a foam thing that you hold in your hand. It is one of the most unsettling things I've ever seen because it looks like a Photoshop effect in real life.
Oh, I'm looking at it. It's very unsettling.
It's real bad. I do love it.
I do quite enjoy the Bertley coin.
I want to join.
I will turn this podcast around.
Justin, would you like to explain for the folks at home what you're talking about?
The Bertley coin?
Explain.
Yeah, what's a Bertley?
Well, Bertley is we were on mic about this. Bertley is a Pokemon.
explain.
Yeah, we cut that. We cut that bit.
Oh, nope. We'll bring it back until it makes its way into the episode. Bertley is a Pokemon. He has a really cool type combination.
What's it look like?
But he's often forgot about.
Is he just a little guy?
He's kind of a little guy. He's a one stage, so like he doesn't have an evolution, but he has a really cool type
Which is?
combination. So Bertley,
The fuck is this, Justin?
he's a good little guy. We do love Bertley.
Bertley looks like Nickelodeon Pikachu.
That is probably the meanest thing you've ever said to me.
Oh,
I didn't say it to you.
It's spelled absolutely not the way you would think it's spelled.
Correct.
Burtli. Yeah, Bertley.
Yep, you're right. You got me there. I no longer wish to speak of Bertley.
What is
Well,
Bertley's
I
type?
only wish to speak of Bertley. Bertley's got a really cool type combination.
You said that 4 times.
I probably said it more than 4.
This is the type of Justin humor I have not missed. Because this is the type of Justin humor that throws me into a blind rage. Now I've grown and I've matured since college when just this type of Justin humor would literally require me to leave the room because otherwise I would suffer a mental breakdown in front of God and everyone.
Yes, I remember these house parties. Go on.
Now I'm okay and I could just go, Justin.
Because he's
You
like
see-
6 states away.
That helps.
Yeah, like I'm one mute button away.
The three of you meet just before dawn, out in front of the crypt, bound for Portsmouth. Luca is the one who meets the three of you, as he is typically wont to do, but he is not alone. Jasper is there, and he greets you all pleasantly, but to Harper, they hand a small burlap sack. And Harper, you can feel something inside the bag, hard, that is in there. It's about the size of a loaf of bread. And he hands it to you with the words, "Remember, just in case." And take notes.
Take notes.
Very good. You'll have fun.
That's a word for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna be exactly a fun trip.
No, probably not, but make the best of it, I suppose. The journey north is quiet. Any lingering concerns that the three of you might have had about trouble or banditry on the road is quickly alleviated about halfway into your first day as you pass another battalion of Kingsguard heading south towards Bering. Clearly, the roads are being much better maintained these days, even if it is only incidentally.
Yeah, now they show up.
It would have been nice. A lot could have been prevented.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'm not usually one to have a chip on my shoulder, but I think that's we've proven otherwise. It's like now that the Outriders feel like we're actually getting some like wind under our wings. Now these assholes show up.
Yes, but it's just us here in Bering getting the work done. The Outriders across the country are still far too few and scattered.
Yeah.
Just because we're getting shit done doesn't mean everyone else is or is capable of it. Not through their lack of trying, just through their lack of numbers.
Although if they showed up sooner, we may never have gotten the wind under our wings. So, silver lining?
Yeah. Fair enough.
There's a lot of ifs in life.
Have I mentioned I hate it that you're right all the time, Cecil?
I'm very good at it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It would be nice to be less dour and still be right, but unfortunately the two go hand in hand, especially when war is brewing. And we're about to go find the nuclear football that sets everything off.
What's a football?
What's nuclear?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's I read about them in a book. Nuclear is I'm sorry, I mispronounced that. It's actually nuclear.
Nuclear.
Yeah, it's It's a type of vodka. Nuclear vodka.
Got it. Write it
Yep.
down.
Yep.
Nuclear.
Yep. And a football is to call it a ball is inaccurate. You know, all balls are round and roll well. This is I don't even know if you can imagine it. If you can think of a ball that's not a circle.
Like an oval?
Like a jart?
No, not jart. That's a different sport. But it's more like a You know, they could have at least like kept it at least round on the sides, so we could have thrown it or kicked it, right? It's almost like triangle shaped and it just kind of rolls over very poorly. It does not roll well. It's only got the four sides to it. But you fill it with vodka and it explodes and it coats the town in effervescence, delight.
I lean over to
That'll never take off.
It's a weird fairy tale.
I lean over to Arabin and I go, I'm pretty sure this is one of those things that Cecil is stretching the truth about, but I don't care. I'm going to invent this.
Oh, absolutely. They're flying by the seat of their pants.
I'm going to invent the nuclear football.
I also read something about the Molotov cocktail, but that was a drink. You lit something on fire and stuffed it into like a big bottle of also some sort of explosive or alcohol-based thing, and you could light it on fire and then throw it.
Arabin leans over to Harper. Now that one might actually be useful.
That one sounds pretty good. It sounds more like an Amoserin milkshake, but
You know, I think renaming it would be fine.
No, a Moser milkshake is exactly what that's called now. Them and their alcoholic milk.
look, there was a dark period that Amoserin went through, and that's all they had to ferment.
It was invented by Dusty Tomes. Dusty Tomes and his Amoserin milkshake.
Can I call for an in-fiction star wipe to escape from this bit?
Hey, fucking please. 3 days have passed as you've gone up the road, and it has been, aside from passing the occasional patrol or traveler or merchant, entirely quiet. You have mounts provided by the Outriders, and you've been told when you get to Portsmouth, there is a small Outriders outpost there where you'll be able to turn the steeds in, so you won't have to worry about managing them. And, as you've traveled, you've passed your, fair share of typical sites. You've got the road shrines. You've got other little like inns and minor villages along the road, way places for people to stop for a night. You're making camp one evening and, it is, it's late spring. The days are still in that getting longer stretch of things. But so it's nearing typical, bed-ish time, and there's still a little hint of sunlight in the sky. Harper, what are you doing with your evening?
I am double checking that. And I think anytime we like stop to break by the side of the road or whenever, really, Harper is throwing up the hatchback and is making sure that the box is well secured within the confines of Ignis.
Yes.
Because that's where it is staying, and that is largely how I'm transporting it right now. Because it is I imagine, pretty hefty piece of machinery that, like, maybe, like, Luca and Arabin together could heft it a short distance, but that's not suited for, like, long-distance travel.
Sure.
Like, in a pinch, it can be moved by folks, but, like, and so I have it kind of wedged into Ignis. I've probably taken out some of the workshop components for this purpose to make room for the box. But it's just periodically checking in on it, making sure that nothing got jostled during the trip and anything like that. So I've been spending a lot of time with Ignis.
For sure. Absolutely. And the box is fine. Things inside the shell, especially after that enchantment was put on there. It's a pretty stable environment, all things considered. You wouldn't want to put anybody alive in there, of course, but
Certainly not.
it's as far as you can tell, as far as you can see, everything is looking really, really good. Arabin, what are you up to?
So Arabin has been thinking a lot, and he's been thinking about the conversation he's had with Fenrir and the conversation he's had with the entity, where the Penumbra was listening in, and he was thinking about whether or not he wants to go through with the deal that he has, or the rough, what he's asked of the Penumbra. And he thinks back to his conversation with Fenrir when he said that other fiends would be jumping at the chance for an infernal core. But Arabin doesn't know any other fiends, except for one. So while we're going down the road, Arabin would like to stop at a shrine to watch.
Okay. Interesting. Fair point. Yeah. They're easy enough to find. You probably pass, one for each of the virtues every day. So it is easy enough. We'll say that evening watch is the last one that you pass. You end up making camp pretty close by. So as things are kind of winding down, you head on over.
Yes, he's gonna. Arabin is gonna take off the amulet first.
Okay. There is a moment of heat as you take it off, as it recognizes, like, what? The shrine. It's kind of like that shrine that you saw back near Uberg, where it is a standing up on kind of like a mini library situation. And it's got, two little doors, and you open up the placards, or you open up the little doors there, and sitting in there is a very simple, like, wood and metal icon for watch.
Arabin's going to take out some paper, and he's going to write a note. He's going to write, "I need to talk to you. It's about the core." He's going to fold that up, and he's going to take a flint out, and he's going to burn it.
Yeah, that'll do it. The fire seems to burn a little bit longer than you're expecting it to. As you're kind of recognizing, oh, that's kind of weird, the wind picks up and blows the smoke into your eyes, and you blink it away. And you're not back in the Nexus, but you're there a little bit. You're getting double vision, but it is of both. You are 100% still in front of the shrine. It isn't as strong as when you and the entity are speaking, but there is the Nexus. And you see, standing before you, this tiefling, marked with gold, walking over and taking a knee in front of you. Arabin, how are you doing?
Watch. I wish I could say that I was doing better. But I'm at a bit of an impasse here.
I imagined you would be.
As you know, I am currently in a contract of sorts with an entity known as the Penumbra.
I am familiar with his arrival and the general situation about him.
He's seeking the Infernal Core, and he intends to ascend, and while I personally don't know exactly what that means, and he's not too keen to tell me other than to regain what he has lost, I'm not so sure I want that to end up in his hands, and yet we are getting closer and closer to that core every single day. And so I wanted to come to you to ask you, what would an Infernal Core mean to you?
Nothing. To me. You remember, Arabin, it was my core. I gave it up for this station. But I understand the predicament you're in, and there are other ways of handling the core. Your friends and companions with the Outriders have been discussing many ways, some not even in front of you all. Machinations are at work. If you do not find another entity to possess my old core, I imagine there are several ways that could end up playing out. However, that doesn't resolve your situation.
No, it doesn't.
What are the terms of your contract, if you don't mind my asking? I recognize it's a personal thing, but...
As of right now, the soul that resides in the amulet is that of my brother.
Oh, shit.
He held the contract of the Penumbra before I did, and he's trapped. I've been talking with the entity, and if I give him the core, there's a chance that he can be free, and there's a chance that I can be free, but...
A question. A very important one. Have you actually signed a contract?
No, there was not in writing of sorts. It was...
No, there has to be something. In order for a warlock agreement, at least here in our world, and you have to have something in writing. It is... You would have no reason to know. There are rules.
Well,
but
there was nothing in writing.
Arabin, extend your hand and call your contract.
Arabin extends his hand, concentrates.
A document appears in your hand, a scroll. May I?
I don't know what this is.
And across the worlds, a hand reaches out and plucks this contract from your hand. This was a specialty of mine before. He looks it over, much as an attorney looking over a contract, and just starts shaking his head. No, this is Arabin. I have good news and terrible news. The good news is that this contract is about as flimsy as any I've ever seen. And they turn it around, and basically what you are looking at is Apollo's contract. But what has happened is someone, be it Apollo, be it the Penumbra themselves, has gone through and just crossed out Apollo's name and written yours in. This is binding in only the most technical sense. This is sloppy work done by a desperate individual. Desperate. Whatever your brother did to end up in that, well, it was shoddy work doing even that. Now, and he pauses. Am I right in assuming that they've offered you a new contract?
We were discussing terms.
Sign nothing. That will be binding. This can be broken easily without really much repercussion. You would lose your power, but they would not be able to come after you. You would be able to rebroker with many entities for similar strength fairly quickly. A great deal of a warlock's ability is to be able to make a connection with beings beyond your plane. Clearly, Santoro Wind extends his arms. You can manage that very well. It's not everyone that can burn a note and get my attention. You have a knack for this.
I understand.
There's a lot of ways you can take this. But I will tell you this. Upon receiving your next contract, you're going to have about 24 hours to sign it. It is how these things typically work. Now, you were smart in not bringing the amulet. It's going to be suspicious, and it might catch on, now that it knows to keep a very, very close eye on you.
Right, but I don't intend on signing anything.
Good. What are you going to do? Like I said, you'll have about 24 hours of leeway before potential repercussions start kicking in. And at any point in that time, your power, well, the Penumbra's power can be taken away.
Well, the way I see it, the Penumbra wants the core more than anything else. He is desperate. And if I don't have the power, if it is taken from me, that is less chance that I will get my hands on the core. That is less chance he has at getting it. And if he wants to go after me, fine. I'm no good to him, Dad.
Correct. The only thing I would caution to remind you of is that the longer he is riding with you, the more he knows about the core, and the more he knows about your friends. If you are going to cross him, the sooner you do that, the safer it is for everyone involved. He won't know what happens to the core. But if you break it while you're in the room with it, well, I don't think I have to tell you how that would end.
But when it comes to other entities, I don't know of any. You're the only other fiend I've ever heard of.
It doesn't have to be a fiend. Things can cross planes all the time. If you remember, I'm mostly celestial at this point.
Yes.
We can fall up. Things can fall down. And other entities can fall to the side. Or hell, maybe you'll figure out how to smash one of those things and turn it into like a cool dagger or something. I don't know. That's what happened to this, and he points to his sawed-off horn. I don't know where that got to. Lost it in a bet.
Okay. Well, I guess I have got some learning to do.
Learning, but also remembering. I can't tell exactly who or what, but you've met a couple of entities that might be willing to take it off your hands. Allegedly.
Maybe I should talk to my friends and see what they think.
And as you say that, you are sitting back at dusk in front of the shrine to watch.
Arabin just looks up and says, "Thank you," and walks back to camp.
Cecil. Harper is working on checking the box for the 15,000th time since you've left Bering. Arabin is praying to watch. What are you doing?
For whatever reasons, happenstance, Cecil and Arabin haven't had a chance to talk before that didn't happen before they left, and then a couple nights on the road, there have been, other campfires around, or
Sure.
We've shared the road with people and it just hasn't happened yet. So Cecil's kind of sitting around the fire, has the tea going. Is just kind of sitting and waiting for Arabin to maybe come back. But also has also been aware that Arabin's had that amulet on the whole time. And has, unintentionally, what I think it's a similar idea that Arabin had, and Cecil doesn't pray, but will attempt to forge a connection through the eye brooch that he has, because they might need a new source of power soon.
Sure.
And also because it's another plan for possibly having to deal with the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So how I think this works is Cecil sits by the fire and stashes their wand and pulls the eye brooch off and attempts to use it as a focus, as a channel.
Okay.
For their pre-existing magic, just to kind of forge this connection.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe cast some spells through it, maybe try to cast alarm through it.
For the sake of getting the right numbers, this isn't what you're doing, but this is how the numbers break down. Make a spell attack for me.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. 24.
Okay.
With spell attack. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Spell attack?
Yes.
So with proficiencies. So 28.
Jeez.
19 plus 9.
You're sitting next to the fire and you're just kind of like channeling, like you're trying to forge this connection. In a moment, you are hit with a barrage of images to a point that your mind is having a hard time untangling them. As you for a very brief moment, get an idea of what it's like to be Carrie. As you are seeing everything and multiple possibilities of things breaking down and breaking up and breaking around and shifting and changing around you. You saw yourself and then things zoomed out, and it was just, you were suddenly in a desert wasteland. You were on top of a mountain. You were in a very, very dark forest in a icy tundra. You were standing in an autumn glade. You were all of these places at the same time, but there is a piece to that chaos. Things are always happening. Things are always changing. And this is the essence of what it means to be connected to the unsleeping seer. They are awake. They are seeing. Not only are they constant, they are one of the constants. And suddenly you realize why giving the core to Carrie might not also be the wisest idea. An entity that is in all places at all times, with something that is indelibly evil in its possession. That could be dangerous, but still certainly a possibility. Certainly better than the penumbra.
Oh, head rush, brain freeze. That sucks.
Be very careful in the future, Cecil.
Yeah, what? Sorry. Hi. Oh, is this you all the time?
It's gone in a moment.
Hello?
But
Oh.
you know that you've caught their attention. They recognize what you were trying to do, and they appreciate the effort.
Ow. Oh, Morty. It's just Cecil sitting there massaging their temples, and then it doesn't quite work, so they turn around on the stump and throw their head backwards and down and try to get the blood to rush back to their head. Just anything. Oh boy. Whew. Well, I guess it could have gone worse. I connected.
And the night settles in. It's another nearly full day of travel for the three of you to finally make it to Portsmouth, but on the evening of the fourth day, you find yourselves in the wooded gates of the city. It's a small town. It's a quiet town. You can see just beyond the village, silhouetted by the setting sun, there are ships bobbing in the harbor.
I was about to be really upset if there wasn't a port here.
I assumed in Chase's world, Portsmouth was landlocked.
I also was kind of assuming that. I was getting ready to spoof on the fact that there was going to be no port around, but there is one.
Yeah.
I'm a little taken aback.
Like on a lake, a very small lake that doesn't connect to anything else.
Right.
If I was very, very smart and thinking, because I just had this idea and it is clearly too late for me to rewrite this, but it actually would have been a vineyard town where they just made port.
Yeah. We can go to that.
No.
There's another Portsmouth on the western side of
it's not an Amozran. It's not an Amozran. It's a Porte Smith.
E. Smith, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Done.
They also
but
have
it
a
is-
crime lord, and his name is Blake.
And it is Port Smith, Smith.
Named for Port and Smith.
Porte Smith, the famous vineyard.
Yes.
As you arrive in town, it is fairly easy to see not only the inn, but also the outpost, because it's the same building. The outpost is hidden as a back door of the inn. Stables are, of course, right next door to there as well. Emblazoned on the secondary back door of the inn is a Pegasus, the sign of the Outrider.
And the inn Chase is called...
The Portly Puffin.
Fuck, it's good.
And what is the picture carved above the sign?
It's just a fat puffin.
Chase never misses on the end names.
Listen, sometimes it's a pun, sometimes it's just a cute fat puffin.
Right. Like, there's nothing wrong with a portly puffin.
Can I tell you what I thought it was?
What'd you think it was?
I thought it was going to be a picture of a porter puffing on some weed. A portly puffer.
That's the one across the street.
That's the puffin porter.
The door to the outpost is right here. Do you go in and introduce yourself, or you find something else to do in the meantime?
Can we chat for a sec, like on our way in, like as we're
of course.
rolling into town?
For sure.
So, gang, is the thought that we're gonna kind of play double duty here, and some of us kind of try to schmooze up to the guards around town to get some info on the prison, and then some other folks of us go after this Basil guy?
Yes, because Basil is the bandit captain.
Yeah,
who's the most recent escapee. If my notes are correct, we know they are.
Yeah,
but I agree that should still happen. I kind of want to do that first before attempting bribery.
Going to talk to Basil.
Yes, let's just go see the Basil of it all, and then go from there and see if because he might have a way for us to get into the prison where it's actually, a better choice.
Yeah.
For us to try to get in or out through whatever way he has, rather than, because we also have to take Ignis.
Right.
So sneaking,
Now, all this to say, I have ways of making, I pull out a little, folded handkerchief looking thing. It's and I unfurl it. It's I used this back when we were in and around the Nexus. I can basically make Ignis invisible if I need to. So I've got this in my back pocket. It's like a little invisibility cloak kind of thing.
Right, yes, but how long does that last?
Hour tops.
Okay. Honestly, if we're in there for longer than an hour, something's gone very wrong.
Right, and we can do a hot exit. I'm not
I mean, we can.
And we mostly just have to disguise Ignis to get us in.
Well, I don't know, because part of this is that we don't want the good king to find out who took it, right? Even if he learns that it was taken, which will happen sooner or later, the idea is to do it without identities being known.
I assumed if things went south, we'd just go scorched earth on it.
Possibly, but
I hadn't really considered that.
If things go badly in there, our reason for existence and for coming on this quest is to stop the device.
Right.
That is it, wholly and completely. But if we get out, when we get out, I shall speak positively and cheerfully, we will want to not have our identities known, because if the Outriders screw over the king, I mean, that's probably the end of the Outriders. Especially in the middle of a war.
There's no easy way for treason, is there?
Actually, I find treason to be quite easy to commit. Possibly even accidentally sometimes, but it's the planned treason and seeing it all the way through to the end without the king knowing that's the trick.
Well, I haven't really talked about this much, but I can kind of do what you two do. I can make myself look like someone else.
Oh yes?
Yeah, it's just I built it when I was younger, this little gizmo, and I don't know, it's just never really served a purpose for me too much, but like outside of like a harmless prank. But it's something I can do. I'm just no good at the whole, I don't know, masquerade thing.
You're not good at the talking.
No, I'm gonna
whilst you're
sound
in
like
there.
me, and that's the problem.
Yes. Right, understood.
But I can just not
yes.
talk, I guess.
That's true.
I got you two.
So does it make you look taller?
No.
Oh.
Like a baller?
But I can look. Hey, but I can look like, I don't know. I could look like Harmony from Town, you know?
Yeah, maybe we could find a shorter guard.
Yeah. But I don't think there's a way of doing this where we're completely clean getting out. I was frankly banking on the fact that if we get the core and get out with it, then we have enough evidence that we could turn that against Sterling, and we can use that as blackmail to essentially not have him rat. Like, if he's going to accuse us of this, he's going to have to own up to the fact that he had possession of this thing, and that's not going to be a good look for him. You know?
If a war wasn't about to start, I'd agree with you.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're not going to solve this in the 10 minutes it's going to take for us to get to the end, so why don't we get settled, we'll mull on it, and we'll try to figure out where Basil is, yeah?
That works for me.
Alright, go Team Ignis.
Thank you for joining us here on Another Path. You can find our website and merch store at anotherpathpodcast.com and our network at ghostlightmedia.net. You can support our efforts by donating at patreon.com/ghostlightmedia or by giving us a rating and review over on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcatcher will let you. You can find us on Blue Sky at anotherpathpodcast.com, Ryan at R. Albrecht at bluesky.social, Griffin at griffcold.bluesky.social, and myself at tqloudly.com. You can find Justin on TikTok at JustJustinMichael and myself at tqloudly. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode, and until then, look, I'm sorry about that audio poison a little bit earlier on in the episode, but I mean the point was clear, right? Right? You get it. This has been a Ghostlight Media production.